Ladies, if you can respect your boss, you can respect your husband. Let's talk about it. Hi, this is Michelle, and welcome back to Call Me Crazy. Today is Monday, October 6, 2025. In my last video, I had a goal to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm happy to report that as of the recording of this video, I have 118 subscribers. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm so overwhelmed with the response and the love I've gotten from everybody. So now I'm going to set a new goal, and I'm hoping I can get to 500 by the end of the year, which is in about 3 months. So let's hope that I can get there. And thank you guys so much. Keep on liking the video, commenting, and sharing it with your friends and subscribing. Thank you again, and on to the video. So today's topic is, if you can respect your boss, you can respect your husband or your man. Now let's think about how people typically interact with their boss when they have a job. And this applies to men and women, but more specifically, I'm talking about women today. So I just made a couple notes. So let's say, you have a regular job, a 9 to 5, whatever the case may be, and you have a boss that you report to, and you go to work every day, or some people work from home. There's different scenarios, but most people have a boss. So typically when you are dealing with your boss, what are the things that you do? You don't raise your voice, typically. You don't talk in a disrespectful tone. You don't typically interrupt when they're in the middle of something. You don't storm out of the room if you have a disagreement or you have a discrepancy about something. You don't just get up and storm out of the room. You compose yourself and get yourself together if you want to address a difficult topic or something that's been bothering you. You get yourself together, you compose yourself, and you address it in a respectful way. You try your best to cooperate or to comply with what's asked of you to the best of your ability. And if your boss is in the middle of, let's say, a meeting or a phone call, you're not going to just barge into the room and just interrupt and say what you have to say. You're going to wait and give deference and be respectful and wait for them to finish what they're doing before you interrupt them. So let's contrast this with many, I won't say most, but many women when they're in a relationship or in a marriage. What typically happens? When they are upset about something, they raise their voice. They fuss about it. They yell and scream. When their husband or their man is saying something to them, what do? They interrupt. They overtalk them. When they're upset about something, what do? In the middle of the conversation, they get up and they storm out and they throw a hissy fit. When your husband requests that you do something in a respectful way, what do? You say, hell no, I'm not doing that. You can't tell me what to do. And these are the same women that will say that, well, I just can't help it. I can't control myself. That's just me. That's just my personality. Well, this is hogwash, because these are the same women that will go to work and they will be on their best behavior and they will respect their boss and they'll do everything that they're asked to do. They won't raise their voice. They won't storm out. They won't have an attitude. They won't throw a hissy fit. But yet when they get home, this is what they do. So when they say they can't do it, it's a bunch of crap. You can do it. You just choose not to. I once had a male friend who was dating a lady, and they were having a lot of drama back and forth. And he would tell me that, she just has that kind of personality. She can't control herself. Like, she can't do anything about it. And I think at one point he even tried to say that it was a mental disorder, and he would just make excuses for her and, her bad behavior. And I asked him one day, I said, well, does she have a job? And he said, well, yeah, she has a job. I said, well, does she have a boss? And he said, well, yeah, she has a boss. I said, well, does she act like that when she goes to work? Does she conduct herself in a reasonable manner when she's at work? And he says, well, yeah, I guess so, because she's had that job for a while. I said, well, there's your proof right there that she says she can't control herself, but she can. She chooses not to. Because when she goes to work, she can control herself. So it's a choice. It's not that she can't help it or she doesn't have a mental disorder. She just chooses not to. And he said, you know what? He said, I never thought about it that way. You're right. You know, back in my home country, in the Bahamas, you know, when we want to travel to the United States, you know, we would have to apply for a visa or student visa, or maybe we need some documents in order to travel to the United States. So in order to do that, we would have to go to the American embassy, and sometimes we'd have to go for an interview, or sometimes we would have to submit documents or things like this, official stuff. And at the American embassy, when I tell you, they do not play. They do not play. When you come into the American embassy, you have to be on your best behavior. You have to conduct yourself in a respectful way. You have to follow the rules. You have to, I think you can't even take your cell phone inside, if I remember correctly. You have to leave it in the car, or I think they had lockers outside. You could leave your cell phone. So there are very strict rules. No cell phones. You have to, you know, talking is at a minimum level. You have to be very respectful. You have to wait in line. You have to, you know, follow the rules, and you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. If you act a fool, you will be quickly escorted out, because they do not play. So that we would always kind of have this joke where certain people who would always be acting the fool, they'd always be throwing temper tantrums, they would not behave in the best way. When they went to the American embassy, you would think they were priests and nuns. When they go in there, they're on their best behavior, they're quiet, they sit up straight, they follow all the rules, they don't ruffle any feathers. So it's the same principle. These people can act right when they want to, they just choose not to. So it's the same principle when you're in a relationship and you say, well, I can't control myself. Yes, you can, because when you go to work, you can control yourself. Those people in the Bahamas, when they go to the American embassy and they know they don't play, they can control themselves. It's a choice. It is really a choice. And it's this crap about it being a mental disorder, I don't buy it. It's a choice. So women can respect their partners, their husbands, their men. They just choose not to. So to recap, ladies, if you're one of those people that say, when my husband makes me angry, I just can't control myself. It's just me, it's just my personality. I can't do anything about it. Anytime there's a difficult moment in your relationship, or you have a disagreement, or there's something that you're having a tough time with your husband, just think in the back of your mind, if I were at work and this was my boss, what would I do in this moment? And 99% of the time, you will find the answer of the right thing to do. What would I do if this was my boss? So that would be my suggestion to you. If you think you can't control yourself and you think you're one of those people who that's just me and I can't do anything about it, try that exercise when you're with your husband and you're having a difficult time. What if this was my boss? What would I do? And then, you know, let me know how it goes. I want to hear from you guys in the comments, and don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe. And thank you to everybody. See you in the next video. Bye.